Hey, what's happening everybody? I'm Charles Maring, and today I'm just going to do a quick tutorial using my Lumix cameras here and talk about how to set up the custom function settings so that you can change your settings in the field without having to dig into the menu with ease. But first, let's roll that intro. You know, the more video that I shoot when I'm out in the field, the more I realize the importance of the custom memory functions in the Lumix GH5, GH5S, even the GX8 here, and how it makes my life a lot easier because I can switch formats from shooting, say, 4K, the most pristine video, to 60p when I want to do some slow-mo later, or 120 frames per second when I want to do slow-mo in camera. And so with that said, a lot of times I'm looking to switch quickly, and I set up my cameras to allow me to do just that. Let's dive in. Now, this is a Lumix G9. I've yet to really set it up the way I want it for video, and so we'll do that today. I just got this camera in, so I've been shooting it for stills, but not for video, but I certainly should set it up. On the top dial here, you're gonna notice that I am in the video setting. It just looks like a little video camera. But then you'll see that there's a C1, C2, C3. I'm going to set up a couple of these alongside you today to show you how I kind of set things up. I'm going to mention though quickly that normally if I'm shooting in 4K, I'm shooting 4K at 24p. I just prefer that. But I'm connected to a SlingStudio hub here. So SlingStudio's broadcast features only allow me to export video in 60p or 30p. So I'm going to be setting this up in 30p, but keep in mind normally I would definitely set this up at 24p for my own shooting style. Let's dive in here a little bit. So I will jump into the menu here, and you'll see that I am, let me hit display here, make sure I can show you everything I need to. There you go, this should show it. So I am in program mode, as you can see. Sometimes in that video mode that I showed you on top of the dial, I'll leave this in program mode, and I'll leave it set to program mode at 4K, 100 megabit per second, 8-bit, because I do a lot of vlogging, and sometimes I want to walk with the camera from inside where it's darker to outside in the sun, and it'll make that transition for me very easily. And so I'm going to change this though, because when I shoot on a professional job, I generally want to be in manual mode, controlling things at all time. So I'm going to set up C1 to be 4K, 30p in manual mode at all times. So let's dive into the menu here. All I have to do that is tap the P button on the back of the screen. I'll go over to M for manual, and you'll see it switched over to manual. And then as I go into the custom function settings, which is under the wrench here, custom set memory, I'll say make that C1. Now I know that every time I go to C1 in my camera, it is set to manual mode 4K 30p. So it makes my life really easy. I don't have to think. I don't have to go through the menus and do this each time. Now generally I'll set up my C2 setting at 60 frames per second instead. Now we'll dive in here to show you what we do. I'm going to go up here to our settings here, and we will change this to full HD at 60p. Perfect, that is done now. And now I will go into, whoops, I don't need to do that again, the wrench setting, and I'll say custom set for C2 will be at that setting. And now as I change the dial here on my camera, if I change from the video dial on the camera to C1, what we will see is that we are now, C1 is manual mode, 4K, perfect. And then C2 is set up at 60p. Instead, if you look right in the center of the camera there, you'll see it set up at 60p. And then I will go back to my video setting here on the dial, and I will change that back, click to program. And then that way, anytime I know that I want to work in a program mode, I'm in that little video camera, little part of the dial. If I want to work in 4K 30p, I'm at C1. I want to work at 60 frames a second, I'm at C2. And then I'll set up C3 to be 120 frames per second variable bit rate on my GH5s. because it can do that. And that way when I'm out in the field, I can easily switch from all of these different formats with ease and control everything without having to dig into the menu. So that's my wrap that quick on this little custom memory setting in the Lumix lineup. You will love these features. Put them to use. It saves you a lot of time, a lot of mental energy. And that's a wrap today. Appreciate you, everybody.